Hello and welcome to your favorite cricket show, the daily cricket show, Cricket Happenings, with your host Ram. On this cricket show, what I'm going to look at is going to be the second day's play between India versus Australia at Dharamshala in the final test match. And with the way things are going, there is definitely going to be a result in this match, as the Aussies actually stuck to a very good line. The Dharamshala pitch, as I said, is really proving absolutely true to its character, and as what was told, that it would have everything for everybody, whether it is the pacers, whether it is the seam and swing, whether it is the spinners, and also the batsmen. So we see that this is definitely coming together as a full circle here, and the Aussies actually really bowled very well. In particular, Nathan Lyon was the one who actually was the man who was chiefly responsible for India being restricted to 248 for 6. So it's still 52 runs adrift of the Australian total, and as I said, this particular test match is really getting interesting, and we probably definitely we are going to see a result in this match. So that is as far as that match is concerned. As far as New Zealand and South Africa were concerned, stumps on day 2. Rain continues to follow Seddon Park in Hamilton, and also the forecast is not very good for the third day as well. But on the second day, the South Africans, thanks to Quinton de Kock. Now, Quinton de Kock is someone who has really been getting a lot of, in the sense he comes in, to look at his average, which is probably around the 50 mark, is something which says a lot about this bloke, Quinton de Kock, who is a wonderful stroke player to watch. Is very strong through the offside. He plays nice cut shots and pull shots, and he was the one who helped this South African team rally from a sort of a difficult position, and finally his contribution was 90. He truly deserved a century, as the stumps on day 2, that is South Africa were all 15 and 14. But for New Zealand, they would be very happy with this effort. They did not lose a wicket, and they scratched 67 runs with both G. Travel and Tom Latham really buckling themselves to the task of seeing off the day. And one refreshing feature for New Zealand is Tom Latham is at the crease, not out on 42, as he was really searching for dear form. And this is what, dear friends, success can do to you. Tom Latham picked up some beautiful catches yesterday, which I'll be talking about, and that is what rubs off. And that, once you get that going, your adrenaline starts flowing, and also you tend to get more successful. And Tom Latham, who was searching for dear form for quite a long time, finally has hit his straps, and that is good news for New Zealanders. And also today, later in the day, we would be having the first of the T20. As you know, Pakistan are touring the West Indies, and for West Indies, this match is going to be played at the Bridgetown in Barbados, and Pakistan are taking on the West Indies in the first of the T20s, and it really seems to is going to be something that is going to be interesting, because the good thing is that two very key players in the West Indies squad are back, and that is very refreshing to see. One is the all-rounder Kieron Pollard, one of the big crowd pullers in the cricketing world, and also Sunil Narine, one of the mesmerizing spinners that the cricket has seen. So these are the three things I'm going to look at. But definitely, I am going to start off with the South Africa versus New Zealand game. So it's talking about day 2, where South Africa resumed at the overnight score of 123 for 4. Bavuma was at the crease along with du Plessis, and they pushed on the score to 148, with the partnership actually adding 51 runs from the overnight score. And finally, it was Bavuma the victim, as Bavuma, and the bowling was, I have to say, the bowling was really sharp. Matt Henry was on the money. Colin Granholm was getting the ball to talk, in the sense he was getting the ball to move with that nip in the air that was prevailing with the cloud cover there. And Neil Wagner was also doing his bit. South Africa, they lost their first wicket of the day when Tenda Bavuma, trying to actually pull a delivery from Matt Henry, got a sort of an under edge onto the ball, and the ball actually flew in instead of flowing in the other direction, it actually took the under edge of the bat and went to G. Travel, who snapped up the catch. And Bavuma was gone. Travel bowled Henry for 29 with 4 boundaries, which made the score 148 for 5. And then Quinton de Kock walked in. Quinton de Kock, as you know, he's a busy player. I mean, right from the first ball, he actually tried to score a boundary. So he's someone who is never ever afraid of the situation, just likes to play his natural game. And Quinton de Kock, as I said, at the number 7, he's averaging 50 in test matches, and every time he comes in, he turns the match around. That's what he precisely did today, in the company of his captain, Faf du Plessis, as du Plessis was also looking pretty good with his nice stroke making, and the partnership started moving along in a very, very steady fashion. But later on, Mitchell Santner was coming back for his first spell, and look at what he did. What a wonderful catch from Tom Latham. Now, Mitchell Santner was actually tossed up the ball, and du Plessis was trying to paddle that. And the paddle, I mean, there was no fielder. I mean, if he had paddled it, probably it would have gone to a fine leg. But on the other hand, normally, the reflex action of a forward short leg fielder is to probably take evasive action when someone is trying to pull the ball or trying to paddle. But on the other hand, Tom Latham was so sharp that he actually followed the ball. He anticipated well, and in fact, he followed the ball, he stretched well, and the paddle, which was probably very far away, the ball was very far away from Tom Latham at short leg. He beautifully took that catch to surprise everybody, including du Plessis, and du Plessis was a goner. What a big wicket for the Kiwis there. Du Plessis gone, caught Latham bowled Santner 53 with 9 boundaries. Now Quinton de Kock was there. He was joined in by Philander, but Philander was the victim of the bowling of Henry. Another very good catch taken by Latham, and Philander was gone for 11 with 2 boundaries. After that, but Quinton de Kock was at the other side. He was doing a good job. As I said, he was driving well. He's very strong through the offside, and not only that, he was getting the scoreboard to tick at a very good rate. And also, he was playing some very nice cut shots, and also his pulls are something that he marvels at. And he times the ball to perfection. And as that was going on, he lost partner Keshav Maharaj to the bowling of Wagner for 9 with 2 boundaries. But Kagiso Rabada was a tough nut to crack. He waited there. He helped de Kock he was helping de Kock very well with adding some very, very valuable runs. And in the process, de Kock was going along very smoothly, but definitely finally it was Wagner who actually had his tail wagging, I would say, as he actually put Quinton de Kock out of the picture by getting him LBW for 90 with 11 fours and 2 sixes. What a knock from Quinton de Kock on a difficult pitch, one could say. Kagiso Rabada was still there, and Kagiso Rabada finally got his highest score in Test cricket, as Wagner actually brought an end to the South African innings at 314, with Kagiso Rabada out for 34 with 6 fours and 1 6. Monty Morkel was not out on 9. The South Africans were all out for 314. Bowling, Matt Henry doing a wonderful job, and has to credit the Kiwi bowlers for doing a very good job, especially considering that they were crippled with Tim Southee and Trent Bolt not being there. Matt Henry, 24 overs, 2 maidens, 93 runs and 4 wickets. Colin Granholm, absolute to the pick of the bowlers, 24 overs, 4 maidens, 62 runs and 2 wickets. Neil Wagner, 25.2 overs, 2 maidens, 104 runs and 3 wickets. Jeetan Patel, 7 overs, none for 30. And also Jeetan Patel was beautifully deposited over mid-wicket by Quinton de Kock for a 6. That was good to see. Mitchell Santner, 9 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 24. Now, as far as New Zealand were concerned, they started their first dig with Tom Latham and Jeet Raval at the crease. But the South African bowlers bowled well. But the good thing was that Tom Latham, who was really searching for dear form, really started grounding himself in, and he was trying to find his form back. And he did it very well, being very patient, and also he played some very nice strokes. In fact, any loose stuff that was served to him, it was Tom Latham getting on beautifully to the delivery to actually get it past the fielders. Jeet Raval also did a fine job of giving good company to Latham, and both actually scratched together 67 runs in the 25.3 overs bowled when rain stopped play, with New Zealand at stumps on day 2 of the final test match at 67 for no loss, which is good to see. But the good thing was that Tom Latham has played himself into form. Vernon Philander, 8 overs, 2 maidens, none for 15. Morne Maldred, 7 overs, 2 maidens, none for 13. Rabada, 5 overs, 1 maiden, none for 25. Keshav Maharaj bowled 5.3 overs, no maiden, none for 14. So definitely, I thought the Kiwis did well here to be 67 for no loss, but they still have a long way to go. There's no doubt about that. Now, from here, we shift on to the match between India versus Australia, and day 2 at the Dharamshala cricket ground in the final test match here. The Indians, as I said, they totted up 248 for 6 at close of play. Well, it all started with Cummins really starting off operations, but let me also start by saying that the India probably would have really struggled even to get the 248 for 6 had Matt Renshaw unfortunately dropped 3 catches, which is very serious business, I would say, in Test cricket. In fact, he dropped some real sitters as well, including one difficult chance. But also, let's say that the ball was always following Matt Renshaw, and Matt Renshaw at an age probably felt very guilty. But nevertheless, I'm sure he would be learning from his mistakes. But Matt Renshaw definitely was guilty of helping India move to 248. But the bowling, definitely wonderful bowling, I would say, from the Aussies. Very disciplined bowling. And Hazelwood and Cummins was also, once again, Cummins was showing that excellent control that he showed in the previous test in Ranchi. And KL Rahul and Murli Vijay. Murli Vijay was very sure of his off stump. KL Rahul was also playing well. As you know, KL Rahul has been someone who has always been amongst the runs in this particular series, and he was playing some fine strokes as well. As this partnership slowly started moving, but the breakthrough came in pretty quickly for the Aussies, as Josh Hazelwood forced Murli Vijay to nick one to Wade behind the stumps, and Murli Vijay was the first to be dismissed. Caught Wade, bowled Hazelwood for 11 with 2 boundaries. Pujara came in and joined Rahul, and both set about in a nice manner to first get this Indian innings out of the spot of bother they were at 21 for 1, and they added some very good runs with Cheteshwar Pujara as usual trying to occupy the crease. Even Rahul, so they really bided their time at the crease as that was going on, and Rahul was also looking good. And then Cummins coming in for his second spell forced Rahul to go for a hook shot, which Rahul obliged, but only resulted in him getting the top edge, and Warner made no mistake, and Rahul was out for 60 with 9 fours and 1 6. Cheteshwar Pujara was joined in by the Indian captain Ajinkya Rahane, and both started playing. Pujara, as you know, he's the one who really waits for the loose ball to play strokes. Otherwise, he keeps himself grounded. Rahane, on the other hand, was severe against the pace bowlers. I mean, he was attacking the pace bowling, but when it came to spin, he was quite watchful. And Nathan Lyon was someone who was really testing Rahane with some flight, with some full straight deliveries, some looping deliveries, some actually turning past the bat. And while this partnership was going on, the score had reached 157, and that was the time Pujara, who was always a very, very difficult customer for the Aussies, Nathan Lyon actually got Pujara to actually edge one. I mean, got an inside edge onto it, and Hanscom at forward shuttler took a very good catch. Pujara gone for 57 with 6 boundaries. Karun Nair came and left pretty quickly, only contributing 5 runs, as Karun Nair, trying to drive at a delivery from Lyon, was caught by Wade. And Nathan Lyon was really superb. He was really giving the ball a real tweak, and he was really getting a great purchase. And finally, we had Ajinkya Rahane, after given a testing time by Nathan Lyon. It was Lyon who captured the wicket of Ajinkya Rahane when Ajinkya Rahane was gone. Caught Smith bowled Lyon after making 46 with 7 fours and 1 6. Ravichandran Ashwin, for the first time in this series, really redeeming himself here with a very nice knock of 30 with 4 boundaries, but in the process he was LBW bowled Nathan Lyon, who went on to pick up the last 4 wickets that fell for India, and at 221 for 6. The score finally was pushed by Riddhiman Saha and Ravindra Jadeja towards 248 at close of play. Saha was not out on 10, also had a big life when he was dropped by Matt Renshaw. A very easy chance which he floored it. It was the second new ball which was taken, and Cummins was absolutely, I would say, disappointed that Matt Renshaw dropped his 3rd catch. And Riddhiman Saha was not out on 10 with 1 boundary. Jadeja was not out on 16 with 2 sixes, in fact, of the spinners. And that was the time which prompted Stephen Smith to go for the second new ball. 248 for 6. They still have 52 runs to actually get into the lead. But as I said, this match is really getting interesting. A definite result match. And looking at the bowling figures, Hazelwood 18 overs, 6 maidens, 40 runs and 1 wicket, did his job perfectly. Cummins once again displaying excellent control, where he was very unlucky not to get more wickets because of the catches being dropped. 21 overs, 5 maidens, 59 runs and 1 wicket. Nathan Lyon, the pick of the bowlers, once again showing what a good bowler he is. 28 overs, 5 maidens, 67 runs and 4 wickets. And also talking about Nathan Lyon, he has taken 63 wickets in 14 matches against India. One of the successful bowlers for India, for Australia and against India. There have been few bowlers who have done some very good things, and Nathan Lyon also joins the select few who have always done well against India. Steve O'Keefe, 24 overs, 4 minutes, run for 69, plugged on very well, and that was the story of the second day in the final Test match. So India need 52 runs to make to actually get into the lead. Aussies will be hoping the second new ball is absolutely fresh, and as you know, in Dharamshala in the morning is the best time to actually get the wickets, where the ball will do something, because in the afternoon and the evening sessions the pitch starts playing a bit easy for the batsmen. So one would be hoping, the Aussies will be hoping that I would probably say the dice is very heavily loaded in favor of the Aussies here, because they have every chance to see to it that they could bowl out the Indians probably within less than 300 and probably take the lead. But again, if Jadeja and Riddhiman Saha could really survive that second new ball attack, then I think the Aussies will have their hands full here. But one has to wait and watch. So just on a brief note here, there is also as you know, the Pakistan are touring West Indies, and the first of the three T20 matches is starting today at Bridgetown in Barbados. And I have to say, this West Indies team, it's going to be played at the Kensington Oval, Bridgetown in Barbados. And it says that there could be a slight chance of rain in the afternoon. As you know, the day-night, it's a T20 matches normally start late in the evening. And West Indies, I have to say one thing, it's very good to see some big names coming back to the West Indies team, and I could probably also, it could be a nice even contest here between West Indies and Pakistan. As far as West Indies are concerned, their squad consists, so the big names are back. Marlon Samuels is back, Lendl Simmons back, Kieron Pollard back, Sunil Narine is back, so definitely, and Samuel Badri. So definitely this team is looking very, very strong to me. Chadwick Walton, Evan Lewis, three other exciting prospects. Chadwick Walton, the wicketkeeper, is also a good player. Marlon Samuels, Lendl Simmons, Kieron Pollard, the very, very important cog in the West Indies scheme of things. Jason Mohammed has really showed that what a utility player he is to the West Indies cricket team, the bat. And Carlos Brathwaite, the captain, who is a power hitter. Sunil Narine, they have some good power hitters in the team as well. Sunil Narine is another big asset to the West Indies. And Jason Holder, Samuel Badri, and Jerome Taylor. And I thought probably if they could have had Gabriel, one probably thinks that Shannon Gabriel is a bit indisposed, and that's the reason he's not playing. Pakistan, one thing is that Sarfraz Ahmed now, who has been named the captain for both the T20 and one-day formats, so he has a big responsibility on his hand. Ahmed Shehzad is back into the team. Babar Azam is a very, very successful player, as you know, in T20s and one-dayers. Hafiz is back, so even Kamran Akmal, who scored so heavily in the Pakistan Super League to knock on the doors of the Pakistan cricket team, has made a comeback, and probably Kamran Akmal, one would probably say that probably this is his third comeback in international cricket. Sarfraz Ahmed, Shoaib Malik gives the solidity to the Pakistan team. Imad Wasim, another very, very useful all-rounder to have in the Pakistan team. Sohail Tanveer, Ruman Rais, the pace bowler. Hassan Ali, another. Wahab Riaz, the experienced bowler. And I think we should have a very, very good game, especially considering this West Indians are also definitely coming back to their slowly at full strength, and the Pakistan are also very nicely loaded with some talented players, and I think we should have a great game on hand coming up as far as the T20 series is concerned. And the first T20 promises to be a very exciting affair. Thanks for your company and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings. This is your host Ram signing off. Thank you.